And we're live.
Has song da 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 da
He's
da
actually
da da
singing
da. It's Mark and Bryn talking about Zenkaiger. We're talking about the holiday episodes, so make sure you watch the show. Dun 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 dun. Let's go, let's go.
I like how it's like Go Kaiju or singing, not the Zenkaiger
Yeah,
thing.
I know, right?
Like I actually really love the Zenkaiger thing, but that's good. So yeah, hi once again, Henshin here. Obviously, we're talking about Zenkaiger and all good things Super Sentai on Sentai Wrap Up as usual. With me as always is my good pal Heirloom. So
Hello.
you can probably tell because he's the one that's just singing Go Kaiju, even though we're doing Zenkaiger part. That's good spot
It's
of that part.
it's fine. Bryn's
Yeah.
in his new office building, as you can see. No one's in on the day because they've all gone home, and he's writing up reports for as much as he can.
Yeah, I look like I work in IKEA.
Yeah,
Which
I would
is
say software engineer company.
yeah.
Right,
Funnily
Spot.
enough, yeah. Funnily enough, we had just been to IKEA. I've got a desk now.
I know. It looks pretty.
Yeah, before
It.
I was relying on a lot of different things. I've got a nice actual chair. I don't have to worry about anything. I
Mm,
can swivel. Gotta love that swivel.
nice.
But yeah, obviously the reason why you can see this instead of my blurred background that I usually do is because I've left a bit of a mess behind me. But yeah,
Okay.
shouldn't affect anything. He says. But yeah, what have you been up to, Mark?
I have been saving the world, buying lots of lightning
Oh
figures
yeah.
because they got they've just released a load of new toys,
Mm,
so it's goddamn again.
at least you have the money
Uh,
to get it.
no.
Honestly, I can't collect them all, but I'm just like happy with the fact that knowing that other people have already collected them all so far. Like my good friend Richard is basically collect the whole line. Probably does his own 3D printed peripherals as well because I know he does that
Mm,
sort of thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool that he's doing that. I really really like it. But yeah. I think we should get on to the first topic of today. Obviously, a bit of a short one because we haven't really got any debuts or anything. But today we are talking about holiday episodes. Now, in this particular episode of Zenkaiger that we're going to review today, episode 24, actually does have an episode that is completely relevant to holidays. I like the little twist of it. But what do you think, Mark, to the relevance of holiday episodes that we have in general?
like the only holiday episodes that we ever see is Halloween and Christmas. I hate Power Ranger episodes. The only decent Halloween episode that they had was when they had the clip show
Yeah.
in Beast Morphers, and that is it. And it was the rest of the time. I don't care about what Santa does. I don't care about, oh, we're going to look at the powers. I want something different. I wouldn't have minded if they did a beach episode.
Yeah.
I, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I honestly think that like I mean obviously Super Sentai has always done Christmas really well. They've always had one for summer holidays, which is a good way to have sort of like anyone who's watching to get in that sort of mood. Obviously, for all this time, it come a bit late. It's like I think they usually do it. Well, but I mean, they always do it sort of like mid summer holidays, but they've seemed to do it a little later this time. Um,
Mm,
but like, I do think that it sort of gives that mood onto it, like especially for the Christmas episode, because everyone looks forward to it. And there have been really good Christmas episodes in both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai that I've enjoyed. Um, Especially like the ones that have a little quirk to them. Like I always remember the Lupin versus Pato Ranger
mm,
Christmas episode because uh, Pato Ren Nigo always just got over like the top when it came to you need to have what was it, chicken for Christmas.
yeah.
There's a big thing about it, and the particular like gangler monster that was obviously causing the ruckus in that particular episode was taking all away all of the chicken and only leaving seafood.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, you could as a starter, but yeah, it was. I think it's fascinating. Like you find those little snippets about cultures in that sort of way, because if you're really enjoying a show and you get to something like Christmas, you end up finding out different things, specifically about Japan, where they
Mm,
actually celebrate Christmas more than they ever do. like in a different way, obviously to us, because I mean we have all sorts of things. I don't know what you're like. I have like beef, I have turkey, I have like especially beef. I love beef and roast dinners. So for a Christmas dinner, I love my beef. But obviously for some people,
So so you have a carvery then.
oh, well, not a carvery. It's more, well, I mean, yeah, I suppose similar, but like, yeah, it depends what we all feel like. Like my father's partial to lamb, but that's not really a Christmas thing.
Lamb's amazing.
But yeah, I do think it's fascinating seeing this sort of cultural experience and everything. But obviously, it's weird to think that obviously, you're watching this show and sometimes you just get culture shocks because you're like, oh, I forgot this is from a different country,
Yeah.
despite the
I
language
mean,
barrier. Never mind the rest.
I mean, I know of the chicken thing. Like, I know 100% that is a, um, you have to book. I find it really weird that you have to book a table at KFC 6 months in advance if you want fried chicken. And I'm like, never in my world have I ever seen that. I would love to experience it
Yeah,
one day, but like having that, I'm like, holy crap!
yeah.
But different cultures.
I do love how obviously they're kind of used in Super Sentai quite often. Like Christmas episode for Super Sentai has always got to be the best sort of like holiday episodes because they obviously have
Mm,
the whole story around them, and I feel like summer holiday episodes are kind of too light-hearted. Especially as you can tell with Zenkaiger for this particular episode, that was very light-hearted as well. But there also is like a serious nature involved, especially with Power Rangers as well. I think we only really do Halloween and
Christmas.
Christmas, really, don't we? We never do summer holidays. If anything, we just go on hiatus, apparently.
That is the longest Power Ranger episode out there. The
Yeah.
hiatus monster. It comes back every year.
Yeah, it's good that we have that sort of combination. I think the only time I remember sort of like a holiday rough episode was probably in Dino Charge. That was very weird.
Oh yeah,
But like yeah,
real.
they're all sort of like messing around and like doing all different sketches involved with that, which made sense. It's weird how like it seems odd in Power Rangers than it does in Super Sentai.
Mm,
But I think that's just the cultural thing, isn't it? Some things get away with it, but it'd be interesting to know if there like the full list of differences between a Christmas in Japan and one in the UK and one in obviously in the States because everyone does things differently. It'd just be interesting to know.
mm.
Um, do you think that stuff like those holidays and whatnot? Do you think there's certain ones that Japan should do? Because I don't think they celebrate Easter, do they?
No, they should celebrate my birthday. I don't know. I think obviously it's different things. Like they is it Hobokai one that they did quite recently where they put the wishes on the tree and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that was the thing that they focused on,
Mm,
and I think that's not too bad. But I think to be fair, I wouldn't mind any like again, it's a culture thing, so I wouldn't mind seeing if they did one for like I don't know if they did Easter or
yeah.
something. Like I would like to see their kind of version for it. I mean, like you've got the big ones like Valentine's Day that they celebrate quite a lot. Obviously, Christmas, New Year. I think I'd quite like to see something like that, but
I think
yeah, we'll see.
I think their festivals are a thing though, especially Tokuja. I remember the festival sort of like season was a big part in the story and that to because obviously it was
Mm,
one of the main things they remembered before obviously the days that followed that turned them into adults and then becoming Tokujas and so on and so forth.
mm,
But yeah, I like how they sometimes cause like a have that thing where at first it's obviously light-hearted, but then even though it's like a holiday episode, it actually relates more into the story. And I love that. I love that sort of thing. I like how sometimes themes or episodes that seem light-hearted just because it's that time of year, and then it turns and it's like,
yeah.
oh, actually, there's actually a big part of the story involved in this. Is a very significant one. But yeah, I think
Mm.
it's really cool. Is there any particular sort of like you know, thing you would like to see differently in Super Sentai?
Not really. Like for holiday modes and stuff like that. I think maybe we'll see more beach episodes, like one a year.
Yeah.
Because now, do I class it as an anime? Because it's only an anime when you see a swimming pool or a beach, and thus therefore you get that episode. So yeah, I think I would much prefer to see more kind of beach episodes. but not the way that Zenkaiger did theirs this way. Even though it was a fun episode,
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't mind them hanging out at the beach a bit more, and then a monster comes down and be like, "Oh no, you've stopped the everyone having fun. I'll never forgive you. It's morphing time. Transform and defeat the monster."
Or Zenkai change. But yeah, yeah, I think that's a good point. Now, is there any sort of like holiday episodes that stick out in mind, whether it be Super Sentai or Power Rangers the most? No?
Apart from the Beast Morphers bringing every bad guy clip show, that's the only one that really kind of stands out. I know I
Yeah.
do remember the others, but I don't like holiday episodes. I feel like they're a waste. They're a waste of time.
Yeah, I think the worst kind of like episode that's ever been done is probably the Halloween in Megaforce. I feel like there's quite a few sort of like episodes they've done for those where they sort of done, oh, we need to do something quick. Let's have them all in a little tent and have their
Mm.
fortunes told, and it turned out to be a monster, and they've got to go and find a monster. I thought that was like, I mean, it's good in a way because it has got that sort of element to it, but I feel like, I don't know, I like scene changes. I don't like the same thing.
Mm.
I like to see like a whole area explored rather than adding a little feature into a little place that's already been before, you know.
Yeah. I,
But
I
that's
don't
just me.
see. I don't mind. I don't mind if they do them. I just want something to progress a story.
Yeah.
I don't like to be like, "Hey guys, do you remember that one time when Gia like stubbed her toe? It was a monster." And it goes straight back to that episode. You're like, "Okay, do you remember when Troy drank from a water bottle and it turned into a monster? Good times." Like, I want them to have a progressive story. I think
Yeah.
that's the reason the Beast Morphers episode stuck out, because it wasn't stuff where they had to relive a monster or they had to relive what they
Yeah.
did, and it fit with what they were going with,
Mm.
and I like that. Even in Zenkaiger, that episode kind of fit in. Like, it wasn't a clip show; it was more, this is how we're going to progress the story, and
Yeah.
that seems fine. But I
I
hate
think the
clip
I
shows.
think yeah. I think the most memorable ever has obviously got to be um Gokaiger with the appearance of Gokai Christmas. I think that's one that
Mm,
everyone's always gonna know because everyone loved Gokaiger anyway. But it's the only time I remember that a significant character has been used as supposed to be a representation of Christmas, really, isn't it?
mm,
Obviously, Kamen Rider
yeah.
has done it all the time with their different forms, but I don't think ever like it's ever had that kind of occurrence really.
Mm,
Obviously, stuff like Ninja and other shows have obviously done their Christmas episodes, but I think having a Ranger form that signifies Christmas is always going to be one of those big things that people sort of realize is going to be is going to be very memorable. It's also one of those things that I wish Super Mega Force did, because you've got something like that,
yeah.
you want to use it. Come on. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Super Sentai is always going to be different from Power Rangers, and in a way, I'm kind of glad for that because you don't get a rerun of the same thing. But it'll be nice if they did something to sort of do the opposite of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not bad, not bad. But yeah, I suppose we better get on to the episode review. So, obviously, this
Yeah.
episode.
Hang on, there's one in the background in the back office, right behind you.
So obviously we got
I was hoping you good
yeah,
luck.
obviously in this particular episode today we had well, sorry, episode 24, should we say? That was all generally a vacation episode. It was quite a light-hearted one. It was cool how it affected everyone, though, even the Kodaks. But yeah, obviously Barishitara was not happy when he found out when he
Mm,
got there. I like it was a whole good plan until that point. I think that's the cool thing about it because it did work. It just didn't have the effect he expected. I like how he already
mm.
determined that they conquered the world, but they're not even all established yet. Um, I do
Yeah.
think the relationship was really cool too, seeing that Kaito could get along with the main foe in this one, because obviously the Toji Tendo have always been sort of like a bit of a difficult thing to anyway. So
Yeah.
it was a good episode to play. Obviously, you got those other parts of it where it was like fight to begin with, and then Yak-chan obviously goes on holiday. Everyone joins in with the holiday, including Sek-chan, which I think is funny. You got to see Flint in a bathing outfit, so I'm sure that was your highlight.
Yes. That was the entire thing. I generally kind of thought when I watched the
Yeah.
preview where she's in the like, because obviously there's going to be different standards to what they can show on
Yeah.
TV. So obviously I knew that they weren't going to put her in a bikini.
Mm,
I was like, right, it's going to be a swimsuit or something.
yeah.
And when I saw the
She might have
preview, I was
also
like, oh
said like, I don't want to go in this. I'd be more comfortable in this. You never know.
yeah.
They
I
could have
think
preferences.
Yeah, I think that they would have like they would have asked her. But I thought they were like, oh, she's gonna have the rubber rings around all the time, and she's not gonna do anything. She's just gonna be like, I'm staying in the pool, and it's just like I'm so glad that they actually had her involved in this a lot more, and it felt fun.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
felt, as I said, like everyone's included rather than just like, oh, we'll sideline the characters.
yeah. I do think that um there was a lot of mix in this one. Obviously a lot
Mm,
of sort of attacks and whatnot kind of used. I think the most significant, because obviously we didn't get any debuts, we didn't get anything really different, but we did get obviously gears reused, which I thought was fascinating
yeah.
because it obviously showed different things. So let's go into that quickly for a second. So first one obviously that appeared was Changeman. That was at the very beginning, which was quite a surprise.
Yep.
Um, Now, obviously this particular power was just reusing the Change Griffin's Magma Galaxy. What did you think of that particular move when they were used in this particular episode?
I wanted to know where the others ran off to. Like,
Yeah, good question.
where did they go? I to be fair, like I thought maybe one was good. It was a good attack. It was a surprise attack type thing. I
Yeah,
don't know the powers, so like when we see anything be like before Jetman, I don't know what they do. So I just go like I knew what some of them have done, like when they use like Go Go
yeah.
5 or Goggle 5, where they use the ribbon. I know that, but for when it's like, oh, here's a Magna Galaxy, I'm like what does it do?
Yeah,
What
it
does
was a
it
pretty
do?
cool move though. I mean, I kind of really feel bad for some of these early Super Sentais because they have really good concepts and really good themes, but then you look at the Zords and you go, ugh.
Yeah,
Like
get out of my
I
side,
feel like this is
Zords.
one thing that Power Rangers could do differently to Super Sentai is take these old concepts and these old Rangers and give them what they should have truly had, such as a Griffin Zord. You know what I mean? I feel like
Mm.
that's such a monumentous difference that we could have between Power Rangers and Super Sentai. But yeah, I think it was a good. I think it was a good finisher move. It was a bit odd how the others moved away, but it's cool that you can see that it doesn't matter which ranger they're tapping into. It
Mm.
all sort of everyone can use it no matter what happens. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a unified attack. Um, Obviously, the other one we saw was some Vulcan return. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time that a gear was ever reused. Am I wrong?
Kiramija was used,
Yeah, that was two. Yeah. Um,
so
yeah.
for the first time in an episode, they've reused it.
Yeah. Some Vulcan obviously was just sort of like a signature attack when they had the bowling, sorry, beach ball game. Um, did you think this was pretty cool? Because I do remember seeing this quite often in some of the clips I've seen for some Vulcan.
Mm. It was all right. I generally thought, yeah, like it's so hard because it was so randomly used, but we've seen that the powers can be used in that you don't have to be morphed.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. So yeah, it was fine. Again, I didn't really kind of think much of it, but
Yeah.
Flint in a bikini.
Yeah, I do think that this goes back to the concept of like when we first saw these gears, we thought they were specifically only giving powers
Mm,
based on these different ranges, which I thought would be really cool. But instead, it's just sort of tapping into an ability or something they can do, which kind of matches the whole sort of like gear mechanism sort of theme they've got going on.
mm,
Um, Obviously with Kira Major, it was just kind of just like showering down gems, wasn't it? But I did like how the
yeah.
logo was there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm,
Yeah, but do you think any of those could have done be used differently, or was you fine with all that
no,
happened?
they're fine. That's fair. It's all fine.
Yeah,
I think it was more the episode that we were looking at. I think that's the better one for it rather than
yeah,
just random stuff.
true, 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 true. Um, yeah, I think certain things I would have liked to seen differently. Like, obviously it was just a few episodes, just this episode that's supposed to be vacation anyway. I do think that maybe having some other sort of like abilities would have been cool. Like the Kira Major one was just really weirdly for show. Um, but
Mm,
like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird episode, but I did like seeing all these things being used, so I can't complain.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think certain things I would have liked to seen was probably like, I don't know, something like along the lines of maybe Hurricane G used and the speed and whatnot for some of the
Mm,
games. Um, like maybe even like Bokenja, because I don't know, Car Ranger. I would love to see have seen Car Ranger used in this one, because I like
yeah.
because obviously that's a silly sort of like season anyway. So I thought this would have been a good opportunity to use Car Ranger's abilities in this episode, because it would have
Mm,
matched so well, especially because obviously they're quite fast. Obviously they're not exactly the same as Turbo Ranger because they're obviously super speed anyway, and we've seen that before. But I do think that Car Ranger could have been used in this episode.
yeah. I think yeah. I mean the speed because you see Ron use his ability where he can just like pick up the
Yeah.
watermelon. Um, yeah, I kind of see that, but I think again, I don't know. I think they just focus on a fun episode.
Mm.
Like, I think using the abilities they were, I reckon they were just like, fuck it, we'll just
Do
miss time.
whatever we want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just do that. It's fine.
It was still
They'll
pretty
lap
good
it
though.
up. They'll buy our products.
Yeah. Oh well, it was still a good episode. I don't think it was bad. So other things that happened into it, if we can recall. So obviously there's nothing really special. We had the mechas for Zenkaiger, Furun Majin. We also had obviously uh Twokai-Oh Katana appear for this episode, which I don't think we've seen properly for a while. And
Mm.
then obviously we have Zenkaiju O appear as well. That was pretty good. There was nothing really special, but I think the only thing significant about this episode is um how shocked the king was when Bakura was obviously got told that the place had, like the planet was conquered, and he was like, "What?"
Mm.
Like, I thought that was
Yeah,
a bit unnecessary
he's done
stop.
it.
He usually does that when he's upset.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest one, which seemed to be one long scene, which it seemed to be a lot of fun, was the watermelon race
Yeah.
type bash it in. Like it felt, when they're walking very slowly, they're doing the whole thing.
Mm.
It felt like they were just going to go beat the hell out of someone,
Yeah.
and then be like, "We do it." And then you had the whole race thing where you had like everybody was involved,
Mm.
so it wasn't like a Flint stayed on the sidelines, or you didn't have like two guys like sticking about.
Yeah.
And like every single time he hears yeah, yeah, I think you could turn that into a horror because it's just literally like every single time it's like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're like, God damn it, two Kaiser, what are you doing that for, boy?
Yeah. It's like,
Um,
it's like, some people's like worst fears having the song repeat really.
I love it.
Damn it.
I absolutely love it. I reckon that you could turn it into a horror thing,
Yeah.
but it's that thing where it's like, I will come after you. Where is my watermelon? You're like, yes, get in
Perfectly
there.
done, by the way. Yeah, I do think the most significant parts about this one were there was obviously it was just vacay world, conquering the place, but then even the good acts will be like, "No, we're not going to bother doing anything. This is going to be a vacation world. That's the
Mm,
purpose of this place now." And obviously,
yeah.
um, actually gets destroyed by Barashitara rather than Kaito or any everyone else. I
Mm,
thought that was the most interesting thing about it, and how instead of those, I can't remember the name of them, but the giant robots, obviously the Toji tend to use.
yeah.
It just Barashitara just picked up the gear, threw it at him, so they were useful, and I loved how they were like, "Yes," that
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
Oh, did you notice two really small things that they put into the episode that we won't see ever
And
again?
what's that?
So you had when they morphed, they all had air horns.
Yes, I remember that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
And then in the intro, you had when they're turning around, they had like little things like balloons and beach balls, but there was no one in the shop. When normally you see them all moving about,
yeah.
there was no one in the
It was
shop,
on
and
the
that's the only time we'll ever see it.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Yak-chan that she got to go on holiday and that's how it all started out. And then she came back
Yeah,
and like the place was a mess. But yeah, promise of gifts, and that's
Yeah.
just like, nope, you're not getting them.
You're not getting them because we've been ransacked. What are you doing? Close, lock the door.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, it's kind of odd how we went from a serious episode to such a fun episode as well, though, which is kind of what Super Sentai sometimes do. It's
Yeah.
just so clear for them to do, but we'll have to.
Well, we're halfway through the series now, so
Yes, we
now
are.
it's more. Are we going to get a more serious tone? Because next week is the time reversal episode, which will be fun.
Yeah, it will be good. It will be good. It'll be good. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything, doesn't it? Um,
It's a quick show because there's not a lot that happened in this one.
No, no, but we'll obviously punch in as much as we can for the next one. Obviously, things are trying to sort out here because obviously got a
Yeah.
new desk, so I'm happy. I'm happy. My partner obviously helped me get this, and it wasn't for her, I would probably never be in this nice, comfy chair right now. But
We can't see the chair
oh yeah,
because the people at Facebook back there are like, "Well, Bryn, you've got to stay in
it's
the
like
office.
it's
Can't
very
see it.
small, but yeah, yeah. Sorry, this
Can't see
effect
it."
I'm going on here is really, really, really good. But yeah, thanks so much, guys. But before we do that, we need to do an episode rating. So, how many skiers would you give this, Mark?
4.
For it?
I'm gonna give it a 4, just
Yeah.
because of Flint in a bikini type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would give it a three, because there's nothing specific about it, but it does kind of shine a light on how Kaito and the others could get along if it wasn't for Barashitara, Idrud, and
Mm.
Bakuwas. So, I mean, obviously Geki as well, because he seems actually like a leader. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all of them, really, isn't it? There's nothing really else about it. It did have those good moments in it, but yeah, it's a holiday episode.
Mm.
Can't really go, but yeah, it's good. It was fine. It was fine. No worries. But yeah, I think the only thing I would like to see differently, like I said, is obviously have the Car Ranger gear used because unless they're specifically going to try and use that in another episode at some
Mm.
point, they've got something really good planned for it. I feel like the lightheartedness of that particular series would have been really good to have it in a holiday episode, especially if
Yeah.
their ability is like stop, ready, go, or go, stop, ready, you know. Yeah, something like that would have been cool, but yeah, never mind.
Mm.
Okay, well, yeah, pretty much covers everything for today. The next episode definitely looks like it's going to be interesting because it's a lot more of a serious tone. We're just going to have to see what it's like. So,
Yep.
anything else you'd like to add to it, Mark?
I have nothing to add to it. Not even a song until I think of something.
Well, I think that covers everything then. So, thank you, my dude. Where can we find you on social media, Mark?
You can find me everywhere as Ellen, but on Twitter you can find me as Mainstream Live.
Awesome.
Everything's Ellen. Yep, there we go. How about
Yeah,
you?
Henshin Asset on both Twitter and Instagram. So thank you, my dudes. We'll see you
No
again
problem.
soon, and in like during the next stream and whatnot. Obviously, we'll have a
Yep.
lot more next time. I'm gonna be scouring Twitter to find anything I can, especially in regards to the new any new mecha we'll have in this, because I
Mm,
love my Megazords and mecha. So yeah,
I know.
but yeah, until next time, bye.
Bye.